All right, and we're live. All right.
Hi, Tom. Hi, Eric.
Hey, Allison. How are you?
Good. How are you? Long time no see.
I know. It's been a while. It's true. It's true. All right. We are here live with Allison Mollica, who she is a certified business and computer educator. She's a Google certified trainer, administrator, innovator, educator. Is there anything else to add to that list? International consultant. What else do you do, Allison?
I walk my dog every once in a while.
You got to do that every now and then, right? Otherwise, it's
Don't you?
busy. Yeah, absolutely.
The queen of Google PD. That's what we're referring to Allison as. That's where we're going here.
Oh God. No. If you monitor Google on the listservs and online, you'll know that it's, what is it? A pool of people, a melting pot of ideas. It's crazy.
Yeah. It is crazy.
But thanks, being the queen of Google is, you know.
You should get a tiara or something for that.
I know. And that would be nice.
Yeah, some swag.
So this is really the as far as the vodcast concerns, where we're going to sit here and have a wonderful conversation. This is the first one, really, where we're going to go through and do it in this style. Hopefully, I will be able to control the camera correctly to be able to go back and forth. That's my job here right now, to be able to see who's talking at different times. So. Again, welcome, Allison, as we go through this conversation. And I think today what we're really focusing on, as we've done through the Google header, is Google Up. What you need to know about Google, what you need to know to stay up to date with Google, and how to go through and start doing some of your certifications. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that does.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, Google's motto is launch early, iterate often, which is clearly what they do. We see updates all the time. So my first question to you, Allison, is how do you stay up to date?
Sure. Actually, I started making it a point to stay up to date. Google started going crazy right around, I mean, it was always nutty with updates, but right around the time that Classroom was launched, it was keeping up with Classroom updates. And then as Classroom was being updated, there were a ton of other tools that integrate with Classroom. And then Google itself has been updating its suite, changing its name, updating its apps, and incredible additions to all the applications. So to make my anxiety issues even more extreme, I've decided to try to keep up with Google. So as part of what I do in the realm of my work is I present a lot of sessions at events, summits, or PD conferences, or even local schools. And so I have a series called What's Up Google. And it originally was just a single 1 hour session. What's up Google, and let's run through all the updates. So now I have to branch it off into What's Up Google apps. What's up Google with all the extended learning opportunities that Google has. What's up Google Classroom has its own hour of power. So yeah, there's just too much. And so I have this series that I share and present. And I also try to keep it up to date online on Twitter and Google+. But that's a challenge in itself.
Absolutely.
So,
and to keep up to date, you asked, like, how do I keep up to date with everything? Well,
yeah, you must have some.
That's where I'm not the queen of Google, right? I rely on everyone else. I always say that everyone should have a good professional learning network, personal learning network, people they network with that share ideas. So I feel like Google Plus and Twitter are really important for sharing. I try to share as many of the new things I learn, and I certainly get that information from you guys and other people. But you don't have to be on social media to stay in the know. Google has a G Suite updates blog where you can subscribe and have the updates come into your inbox.
Yep.
They also have a calendar of releases. So if you Google G Suite calendar of new releases, you can get them there. I've created Google Alerts. If you go to alerts.google.com, you can put in key terms so that you get different news articles on Google and education delivered to your inbox each day. YouTube, Google for Education, G Suite for Education has their own YouTube channel you can subscribe to and get notifications each time they upload a video. And there's some great Google Plus communities. Certainly there's the GEG communities, but I would extend that reach and look for the Google Classroom community and G Suite for Education in Google Plus. It's chock full of people sharing and answering your questions when you have questions about things.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of these things, I know for me, I've recently become a Google certified trainer. So to be able to go out and see those listservs and what people are working with, what people are using and what they want to use, has been a great for me to be able to try and keep up with the products and really become informed with them. And kind of tying into that, you know, with all these releases and all these people learning these things so quickly, how do you design your sessions to present this to your intended audiences? As you mentioned, you go to summits and you present in summits and you actually run summits yourself. So how do you make sure that you're not only keeping up with it, but how you, as you're keeping up with it, you know, script it out for that intended audience?
Yeah, well, that's tough because you have people that want to sit back and have a story told to them. And then you have those who want to do things. And then you have those that want to do things quickly and those that want to do things very slowly with
absolutely
instruction. So what I've done is I offer a couple of opportunities with the What's Up Google presentation. I'll do a screen share here.
Yeah, sure. We love screen
out.
shares.
Yeah, okay, good. Here is, I'll just start with the What's Up Google slide deck. So here's the slide deck. Let's say I'm running through a slide deck and I'm showing some things and also demoing some things. As I go through this, let me get down to something like Inbox. I will present what Inbox is and that it's available for EDU domains, but I don't spend a lot of time on that in the presentation. I follow it up with What's Up Google, try and apply, and then suggested ways that it can be used. And so I work with the people, they work with each other. It's more of a collaborative, unconference style type workshop where you get to kind of like try things out. And for people who like hands-on, but it's like, just, you know, give me the information, I can do it. The checklist is available. They can take it with them and do it anytime later after the conference. So that's worked out pretty well. And I think for anyone giving a presentation, that if you have a checklist of activities or just a quick list of activities from what you've presented, that gives your people something to walk away with. And that way you also don't have to like step-by-step do like handouts. They have your presentation. And if you add a few links and ideas, that gives them something to work with.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And just so everyone knows, as most people are probably watching this after we've gone through and filmed it, I don't have the back channel up right now because I was getting double voices in my head and it sounded like I was going crazy, which is partially true. But anyways, we will put all the links that we have here, anything that Allison has been talking about with the links to the calendars and some of these sheets, they will go into the description as this is then put out there for anyone to view later on.
I want to just, I'm going to flip back over. It's a great opportunity because we're talking about what's up, and something that the Google education trainers, we've been really pushing to let them be aware of this new student curriculum, but I don't think the public knows. And so I just want to let anyone know who's watching, that's an educator, to take a peek at the new free technology curriculum. It integrates using Google in real world settings like running an event or planning a budget, and it integrates the use of spreadsheets and maps and forms. So really great student curriculum. You could get really savvy with it and develop badge systems and maybe your own certification at your school. So to get there, you go to g.co/let's create. g.co/let's create, and you can just get started as a teacher and start, you know, working your way through the curriculum and have your students use it as well. It's in beta mode, so you know, it's there for you to use, and it will get better in time, just the way Classroom did when it first was released. Didn't have all the bells and whistles because they're depending on you, the educator, to give feedback so that the final product becomes something that you will really use and appreciate.
Right. Yeah, and I love the fact too that this curriculum is really centered around workflow and application and not as much around coding, although there's points of that in there too, but it kind of hits that other world, right, of tech, and where we're going to be seeing it in other areas in the fields for kids moving on too, which is great. It's
really set up for middle to high school. I don't think they're going to tie grade level to it. Somebody had asked about that, but by not tying a grade level to it, it opens it up for anyone to think it's good for them.
Right.
It can be done. It doesn't scaffold, so they can pick and choose if they just want to do, they're working on math, they're working on spreadsheets and they want to run the plan a budget unit with their kids, they can. Or if they want to run the whole curriculum with their computer applications class, they can. So it's really a wide audience that can appreciate and use it.
Now, you did mention this is still in beta form, so obviously as people are going through it and they look at this, there might be some things we look at this, that doesn't seem right. Obviously, you know, Google wants feedback from that type of thing. So that's another thing you can do to try and help to stay all Googled up here, is to make sure that you're contributing back to Google so that way they can improve things and make things the way you want.
Right. And one thing that you'll fall in love with when you first start using this is every single unit has a video. And it has a video with somebody greeting you and talking with you. And then it will go into screen share, and you can adjust the playback speed. So if you want it, you know when you're watching a how-to video and you're like, come on, land it. You can make it go fast, or if you're like, oh, you're going too fast, like I always get, you can slow it down. I know people wish they had that for me, a slow button.
Us too. I think they'd speed right through us, right, Tom?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Speed or slow you down or pause you every once in a while.
Or just stop it all together. I don't know. That's great.
That's not very nice to ourselves there. We're doing,
Yeah, not good. You're supposed to have positive self-talk.
Positive self. Yes. All right. We're back. All right. So this is great because there's a lot of things obviously Google's pushing out for updates, and you're staying certified and you're kind of designing things for summits and things like that. And now I know you also do boot camps as well. Do you want to talk a little bit about boot camps and Google certifications at all?
Yes. Let's just to go back to what Tom said about learning from like the listservs. There are several certifications through Google. Once you become the first level, you can apply for innovator or trainer. And when you become an innovator or trainer, you're really part of a very tight-knit EDU community that's very close to Google, the Google EDU team. So a lot of, you get to know these things about like this new curriculum that's out. They make sure that you know about it because they know they want you to share it. So there's huge value in becoming Google certified. And you can go to edu.google.com and you can pursue certification right directly there. So edu.google.com, click on training for educators, and you'll be able to find your way to certification. But if you're not that kind of person, you're not going to go to that website and find your way to certification, because you require time and space and somebody to help you get there. You can attend a Google training. With Apps Events, I write curriculum for their Google certification boot camps. And the reason they're called boot camps is because it's fast paced, and you're gonna kind of like level up real fast. Just like an exercise boot camp, if you come and you're really a novice, you're not going to be like running the show and running around. At the end of the day, you're going to have schema to set goals and probably have to go back online to read and use the tools more before you can become certified. Right. But many people just need to come in and get the gaps filled in. So and some ideas too. So they attend boot camps. They can be 1 or 2 days, and they should be hands-on activities that don't teach to the test, but help you in regards to that, but also give you ideas on how you can use the tools in your classroom. So that's part of what I do with Apps Events. And a lot of people come and ask me, some people ask, why should I become certified? Is there a reason? Is there what's in it for me? And I think that one thing that we have to remember is everyone needs PD, and so many schools are Google schools. So what better way to, align your professional and recertification goals and use that Google certification program as a way to set goals, to become a better educator. You're going to have a better skill set for flipping or blending, or engaging your learners. And then once you are Google Educator certified, you can go on to apply to become Google Innovator or Trainer.
Right.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, we do some of the trainings as well. We've been to Allison's trainings. They're fantastic. The curriculum is written in a way that not only can people who may be some more novice learners will be able to easily follow, but people who have a little bit more advanced knowledge, they're going to gain something from it as well. And absolutely, you know, when you contact some of these groups that do training specific apps events, make sure you ask for the package deal, which is Eric and I to come out and help you guys, because I'm going to shamelessly plug us right now that we want to make sure we come out and help you guys do your training and everything of that. I had to do it. I just, you know, whatever. It's just, I'm
Who
drop the mic
invited
now
him?
and just, no,
Who
I'm just
invited him?
kidding.
But yeah,
So what Tom is saying is that Eric and Tom both lead apps events, Google certification boot camps, and there's some coming up in New Hampshire and Maine this summer. So if you go to appsevents.com, you can see where those are.
yeah. And I truly love the model too that Apps Events kind of takes, and you do too as well, Allison, with, you know, we're not here necessarily to just keep pumping ourselves, although Tom probably is, but it's more about training the trainer and getting more people out there so that we can build this community. And it's great for schools who may say, you know what, what's my investment like with this? And, you know, I know some schools up here in Maine, they're writing it in their tech plans that all educators throughout the K-12 district are going to be level 1, level 2 certified within 2 to 3 years. And, you know, you can only go up from there. If everybody becomes close to that, or if you have a good pool of people, you don't necessarily need constant PD all the time, because now they're attached to those outlets that you just talked about earlier, where they can kind of go through all the things that are coming out and the updates and help inform their district. So it's a huge investment, I think, and it's definitely worth it.
Right. And I often find, history has shown me that those educators that become aware of the Google certification program and level up their skill and build their network, they go on to become innovators and trainers. And as a result, they're sharing so much with their school community and even all over the world. The connections are stronger. The pool of ideas, like I say, it's a melting pot of ideas. So we're stronger together. Yeah. And wait, that was a recent campaign slogan.
Oh, boy, here we go.
No, I never delve into politics intentionally. Even. So, but it really is true. And I've just seen people, like, their happiness level, their engagement level, their, you know, they're better teachers, they're better educators, they're better colleagues. So there's a lot that comes as a result. It's not just, I'm a Google certified educator. I think that's a nice little badge to there, but that's not what's important.
Right.
Right. And I know for me, I started off as not really an educator when I came into this field. I'm a tech guy. That's where I've worked the past 17 years as. So when I came in here, I started with the Google admin cert. And once I did that, I started learning more and more about education. So then I said, let's keep going with it, and started doing the level 1 and level 2, and now trainer. And at some point in the near future, I'll apply for Innovator Academy. And I think that it really does speak for people in a lot of different walks here. It's not just teachers, educators, to be able to go through this. Admins should go through it. Tech staff should go through it. A whole realm of people. You will learn something and gain something, so that we can, as you were saying, not only be able to communicate well as that community of trainers, but in your own school, you have a whole community of people that are on the same page when it comes to what you're dealing with Google products.
Right. And I have, like, principals and superintendents, and what they say is they're happy the program's there. They're happy the PD opportunities are there, because when they want to tell their staff, hey, we're all going to do this, or we're all going to do that, we're going to have paperless meetings and run our, our tech meetings and our staff meetings using Google Hangouts.
Right.
They know they have that skill set, and they want that to be taken care of for them. So it's nice to have that type of structure built in, so you know that there's some common ground there in terms of using the tools.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about how to do those, Eric and I do lots of videos on how to actually put out. I'm going to keep plugging this. This is like, I'm the PR guy here, so this is what's going to go for this.
Loudmouth is more like it.
Hey, that's still PR. That's all right. So as we take it a step further beyond that, so you have your boot camp. You go in, you do your training. then you want to be able to try and keep up with the product a little bit more. The other part of it that Apps Events offers is the summits. And can you talk a little bit more about why it's important not only to be able to go through the boot camp for the certification, but then to re-up on that and go through the summits and see all the wonderful presentations that happen in there?
Yeah, I remember my first summit. It was it changed like my outlook on PD because I didn't realize I was learning. I was having such a good time, and I think that's why I kind of like was gravitated to this area, because I'm like, well, I can work and have fun, and I have fun all the time. No, I think that the summits are a great way for people to share ideas. Your boot camps will give you that common PD for your staff or help you achieve that certification, but that's a one-day event or two-day event that's focused on a very focused area with one trainer or two trainers, whereas a Google Summit is like a big tech conference with concurrent sessions and a keynote and vendors and trainers and teachers and everyone coming together and sharing different ideas, and also their different uses for the different tools, because you can have a Google form, but there are 1,000 ways to use and engage learners and use it for communication and productivity purposes. And that's what I'm talking about, the melting pot of ideas, where it comes from all different places, circumstances, and you never know. I never walk away from a Google Summit teaching more than I learn. I learn more from being at places where I present than I do, from what I share. So everyone coming together. So it's a venue for everyone to come together. I also think that networking is the key in having fun. The relationships, you don't get to know people online. You really need some time to spend with people. So I think that networking with people is very important. And then for trainers, if you want to be a Google certified trainer or you are a certified trainer, here's the two things I get asked all the time. Number one, what do I need to do to become a trainer? You need some type of history training, and that can be in your school, but the summits are a great opportunity because anyone who submits a session, they attend the summit for free. So they get all the learning and sharing for free, and they get their training experience. And the other thing is, if you are a trainer, I always get asked, how do I get jobs? And AKA, they often want to know how they're going to get paying jobs. Right. And I got my career started as a trainer because I presented at Summit. So it's an excellent way to expose who you are and to showcase your teaching skills. And you will secure clients if you're presenting at Google Summits, which is what I did. And it's kind of like getting free Super Bowl airtime, if you think about it in that regard. It's like the Super Bowl, you know how much those commercials cost? You get to go for free, and you get your target audience. Where can you get your target audience to?
That's a good point.
Market your product? Nowhere.
Yeah.
But a Google Summit is a great opportunity for trainers, so I'm always encouraging them to do that. That was the best experience for me. So that's the best advice I can give in those regards.
I know the first one I attended actually was an Apps Event Summits, and the first session I attended was pre-launch of the Best Buy Expeditions kit with Allison was showing that session. That was the very first one, and that's where I started to get hooked into the idea of presenting. And thankfully, I was fortunate enough to be able to go through and do that. And like you said, I love going to them too, because sometimes you get the chance to go all over, for us, New England and other areas, and you can see how other people present. And maybe you can learn, not only can you learn something about G Suite, but you can learn maybe some presenting styles that will help you be a better presenter and to get your information across to other people.
Agreed. And I understand you guys are bringing that big Best Buy kit to the New Hampshire Summit.
Absolutely. Yep. We wouldn't miss it.
All right. That's awesome.
Virtual field trip for the real field trip.
I'll be in that session.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. I think that pretty much sums it up. Is there anything else that we need to chat about for leveling up, either for ourselves, for getting it out there, finding, you already talked about appsevents.com, where they can go take a look at all the events coming up in their area.
Yeah. And I want to just say, like, I didn't know that we were going to talk a lot as much as we did about apps events, but that's good. I just want to encourage people who, if you go to appsevents.com, if you're a trainer, or if you're planning to be a trainer, you're already presenting and you want a platform to do that. There's lots of summer summits coming up, and we really always look for, I know that Apps Events is always looking for new talent and looking for to try to bring trainers to different places. So it's not a closed team. It's a wide open opportunity. And there's summits in North Carolina, Georgia, New Hampshire, Texas,
Maine,
Seattle, Stanford, Connecticut,
Arkansas.
and Arkansas.
Yep.
This in the U.S. Number abroad, but those are the U.S. ones coming up this year. So come to a summit near you.
I know Eric will be at least 3 of those. I unfortunately have a family vacation scheduled during one of the other ones, so I only get to do one of them. But Eric will definitely be at a lot of them, and there may be a pop-in virtual presence from somebody else from some other areas. Who knows what might happen?
Who knows?
Oh, dear.
All right.
Anything can happen.
Bound to be a lot of fun. Thanks for inviting me today on your show.
Thanks for coming, Allison. It was a pleasure.
All right, so this is the I guess inaugural episode. We've concluded now, and thank for everyone who's going to watch this in the future. And this is something that we're going to look to do at kind of a bi-weekly basis. So every other week we'll try and have more guests and talk more things outside the realm of tutorials and into just more the process and the philosophy of tech within education. So thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.